exertion. So heat intolerance, thermosensitivity. So again, if I heat up, I'm done. I'm a limp noodle after I get, exercising. I'm 30 minutes, and certainly in our hot, 100-degree weather, I'm done after exercise. I don't want to do it anymore. So there's cooling vests. I will tell you that I'm not a big proponent of cooling vests. I think, if it works for you, fantastic. However, what I generally prescribe, if you're heat intolerant and you're exercising, and let's say you're in a stationary bike, it's a lot easier to do it on a stationary machine, is that the way that we as human beings, as well as animals, decrease their body temperature is by sweat. The evaporation point of sweat, that temperature gradient decrease, is the point at which we cool down. So autonomic nervous system dysfunction, you might not be able to sweat while you're exercising, as well as you might not be getting up high enough to get that sweat going. So create artificial sweat. A really misty spray bottle and a fan creates the evaporation off your body, cools you. Okay, that to me has been most successful in being able to decrease this hurdle in consideration for increasing your activity without having that burden of heat intolerance. So respiratory weakness, that is definitely something that either diaphragmatic or accessory muscle weakness, that I just can't get the breath I need for physical activity. That's something that we have to take in consideration and work around and or increase if we can. Increase the strength of the diaphragm, increase the strength of the accessory rib muscles if we can. Impaired bowel and bladder control. Maybe we can help with that if there's incontinence with exercises for the pelvic floor, possibly. However, it's also, you might want to just make sure that you're scheduling your activity around urgency needs, that you are within safe mobility to get to a bathroom while you're exercising. Because many times when patients will come in, or my clients will come in, and it's like within 10 minutes of moving, that bathroom break. That's fine. That's built into my understanding of what needs to be done, literally, during the exercise process. And medications, effects and side effects of some of the disease-modifying medications, as well as symptomatic medications as well, like baclofen, anti-inflammatory, and I'm sure I shouldn't use the actual names, but anti-spastic medications, some of the side effects that you can get from those, you have to take in consideration as well. And equipment needs. If some of the best evidence out there incorporates this really fancy technique, one of those might be, for mobility-wise, could be robotic and or very computerized or mechanical assistive devices and or aids for exercise. It's not feasible. It's not generalizable. It's very hard if we need all this equipment. We can get around those barriers. So the way that I would suggest that you monitor your exertion, and am I getting up high enough? Am I doing enough activity to get benefit from? Again, sometimes maybe heart rate is, first of all, kind of hard to really get your own heart rate. You might be really faint and or, it's hard for me to calculate that. It's really hard for me to do that. I just don't think I want to do that. So it's perception of exertion. Am I getting myself up to the point where I am doing enough and not too much? So this is a rate of perceived exertion scale. It's a weird scale. Don't ask me where Dr. Bohr got this from. 6 to 20. You just wanted to mess with everybody's minds. But it's not 0 to 10. There is a modified version, 0 to 10, but this is the original version. So it goes from no exertion at all, just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, to 20 and maximal exertion. You're ready to drop off the machine and or fall because you're just too exerted. The area that we propose that you exercise is in this middle area, 12 to 13 to 14. Use this one slide, blow it up. Again, cues at home, you can frame it if you want, but you can put it up on the wall where you particularly might exercise the most and or increase your physical activity, or give you ideas of, am I doing enough? Am I really at this level? I need to be here, and I'll tell you generally how long you want to be there. throughout the day. So somewhat hard between 12 and 14. That's your perception for that day, for that moment. And I definitely understand that it could fluctuate from time to time, from day to day. This is where you are at right now during your 5, 2, 5, 15, 50-minute exercise activity participation. Okay, so that's my 2 minutes.
A 2-minute warning?
Always ready. So 2 minutes left. So strength training, in general, these are general guidelines. So strength training, you want to target arms, legs, and core. So your limbs, neck, and your core. Very important to know that I need to go from head to toe with my exercise, my strengthening, if I can. Mode could be stationary machines, handheld weights, and cuff weights. So obviously, stationary machines, that would be more fitness center, rec center, gym related. You might have some of that at home, fantastic. If not, handheld weights, and then cuff weights are the Velcro ones where you can put on your arms, can put on your legs. And core strengthening really doesn't need all that much equipment, and there's ways of really being effective in a core stability training. So intensity, again, is at 12 to 14, somewhat difficult. Enough not to exceed, enough resistance of your strength training to not exceed 15 to 20 repetitions. So if you're doing 50 repetitions of one exercise, probably need to think about, can I increase that intensity a bit and bring myself down into the 15 to 20 repetitions is the amount of times you do it. Look and feel. This is the general concept. You want that last 15th, 16th, or 17th repetition to look, meaning it went through the full range of motion that you started with. It looks about the same, but it increased you 1 point on that exertion level. You have to push, you have to tax the muscle just a little bit to get the benefits of strength training. Duration, 1 to 2 sets. 1 set is just fine. And 1 to 20 repetitions. If you just do it once and start there, work yourself up to 20 repetitions. And then frequency and duration, 2 to 7 times forever. Now it's like, well, I don't know if I can increase my strength. This is a slide from a very recent and excellent, oh, I like this purple now. So these are 3 different lines, 3 different categories of disability. And it's like, well, I don't know. I'm quite disabled. I am in a wheelchair. I don't know if I can gain in my strength. Well, the solid line are individuals that are minimally disabled on that EDSS score that we were talking about earlier. So yes, they start off higher in their ability to move more weight. They progress in upward trend. Purple started off a little bit higher than the medium group of disability level, but trended higher. Each group increased their strength in their tricep muscles, which is the back muscles, in their leg muscles as well. Sure, you started off lower with increased disability, but there was progression over time, over a 6-month period of time. Endurance training, somewhat hard. You want to make sure that you're doing at least 30 to 45 minutes of physical activity each day, and doing that forever. Intervals, you can start off with 5-minute intervals, work yourself up to 15, 20, and then attempting to do it for 30 to 45 minutes total. You might not be able to get to it, total duration time, but maybe those intervals can help you. Additional training would be balance training. This I'm going to focus on in a couple hours. This is my study from last year. Combined strengthening and endurance, endurance and balance training. The benefits are quite extensive, as well as recent evidence of increased cognition, as well as possibly lessening the disease process by decreasing the inflammatory process. So those are sort of question marks and possibilities, but very exciting. Thank you.
Awesome.